Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We will be starting shortly. Grab some popcorn and a drink. See you soon. Pinball Grams, thanks for joining us. This is live. We are on our holding screen, and we will be starting soon. Oh, I see why. The date. I see. Alright, this is what we're doing tonight. Living in the loop. Hello, Atlanta. I miss you. Alright, ready? Alright, everybody. Welcome to episode 10 of the Big Picture Pinball Show. Hello, James. Welcome.
Hello, Emoto. Good to see you again.
I love your golden cat, your lucky cat, and the RGB lights actually color changing behind it. It's very cinematic.
I like to upgrade every do a little tweak every year. Every show we do a tweak.
I shrunk myself to be, nice and small, sitting on top of Jurassic Park. Pinball. So we use two
So
different sorts of magic on this
it's
show.
movie magic. Movie magic. I like that.
Awesome. Well, we
So,
have a really cool guest today. James, you want to tell everyone what it is? Who it
uh,
is?
who it is? Okay,
I'll say his last name for
I'm
you.
gonna. Chuck is a Chicago-based producer, director, and founder of the company Most Visual. Chuck grew up in south
He's
side of
reading his
Chicago and
bio.
Calumet region, and is a graduate of Columbia College in Chicago. Um, he spent more than a decade as a freelance photographer, editor, director of photography on all kinds of film projects and doing agency work. Chuck has directed a wide array of documentary projects, a lot of them about music. He was a fan favorite for when he's made a wonderful documentary called Bill's Records and the Box of Sound. And we'll talk a little bit more about them and where you can find them. He directed 22 episodes of an online series, 12 for 12, which
Wow.
went behind the scenes in some of the most compelling companies across the United States. And through that process, connected with Pinball Stern Pinball, and made good relationships. And now
That's the
is
best part.
directing. Yes, the best part. Directing promotional and documentary pinball videos for Stern Pinball. So
Yep.
Chuck is amazing.
And
So
that's where I know Chuck from working with him with Stern. And for those of you who don't know who Chuck Przybyl is of Most Visual, you guys will meet him soon. But all of the latest Stern mini documentaries and all those promotional trailers for all the games coming out since, we'll talk about that later with Chuck, but you know what trailers I'm talking about, right? The stuff that we drool over and we wait for to see when Stern announces a new title. Chuck's the guy behind it, and we have him here tonight. So be
it's the
excited for
man.
that because I'm
The
super
the
excited.
it's the man behind the scenes. It's
Yeah,
the man with the magic. The man that twiddles the knobs to make the wonderful things for us pinball consumers to drool over. So,
he's a great
um,
cinematographer,
but
director, and producer.
he's done all kinds of cool stuff. So to begin the show, I wanted to show a little bit about what he does. So we're going to show his reel first, which shows you a variety of things. He's not just a pinball mastermind. He does all kinds of other work, and I always like to showcase all the cool stuff that people do, and then talk about their filmmaking, talk about their origins, and then get more pinball centric as the show goes on. So let's show that reel,
Okay,
and then we'll come back and show some more of his work.
awesome. Let's go. Hello, Chuck. Thanks for joining us tonight. That reel
Great.
is
Thanks
so
for having me.
amazing.
Yeah, it's great work.
So
We were
much
teasing.
beautiful
Hello,
bokeh.
Chuck. Thanks for
Yeah, we were
joining us
teasing Chuck
tonight.
about how much we love his cinematography and the flares behind his depth of field. So beautiful, so beautiful. So, Chuck, we got to get into it. We got to ask you questions about how you learned to do all these wonderful things, and then we'll get to pinball. So, we need to talk a little bit about your origin story and how you learned to make all these beautiful images. You started as a photographer and then got into filmmaking. Tell us a little bit about your path on the love of visual storytelling, and go with it.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I started doing photography and, black and white, just your regular Pentax K1000 kind of stuff. I really got into shooting industrial stuff in my neighborhood, my area, in the Calumet region, and ended up going to Columbia College. Really got into photo there, and also picked up a video camera while I was in school, and was hoping to get into cinematography. That didn't quite work out at Columbia, but afterwards I just kept going, and I started doing a lot of Photoshop stuff, which led to After Effects, which led to editing. And I was there at the beginning with like iMovie 1, Final Cut 1,
Yeah.
and uh, yeah, just started shooting after that, after a lot of freelance editing work. Then, DP, then into directing and producing.
So
That's
you
the short
also
one.
you had a short version. You also have a passion for music too. So you obviously you have the eye for the visual, the eye for the moving image, but you also love sound and music, and you've produced some documentaries too. Can you tell us a little bit about your documentary work?
No, totally. I mean, when I started producing things for ourselves and we started Most Visual, it was like, well, what are we going to do? I had a lot of producer friends that I worked with, and I just I had a friend. He made this great album called Anton's Cigar Box, and so I loved the idea. It was a synthesizer that was made into a cigar box, or a cigar box that was made into a synthesizer. And we went, and I would just want to shoot everything the way that I wanted to do it for once, even interviews and stuff. Close up, macro, just
Yeah.
really shallow depth of field, and really get in there and shoot things um, really microscopically almost. So yeah, I think that was a great success that got the ball rolling, and people who had seen that, um, that led to bigger projects like the 12 for 12 project, and then other things down the road.
So tell us now about 12 for 12. You, and how the 12 for 12 brought you closer to Stern and your
Yeah. I mean, he's already using like the macro lenses and stuff like that. That's what
yeah,
is better for
that's
pinball.
getting close to
Yeah.
pinballs. Yeah.
So 12 for 12 was, the idea was to go behind the scenes at 12 different, cool companies in Chicago at the time. So, we started to shoot high right away. We started with Few Spirits, and then went with Threadless. And
Oh,
there
cool.
was sort of a gap there where it's like, oh, well, we need something to cover. And I really pushed for Stern. We were actually shooting at Reckless, and I saw that Game of Thrones had come out. It was across the street at, oh my gosh, I'm going to blank on the name of the place. But it was across the street at the Barcade, and I was like, these guys are going to love the fact that a marketing thing, and Game of Thrones, and a game, and local manufacturing. So I really pitched it because I had wanted to do a pinball documentary for a long time. I would always, have late nights talking to friends about, like, this is my dream project. And yeah, they contacted Stern, and we did a walkthrough, with a huge crew. We brought like 8
Cool.
people, because I knew I really wanted to cover as much as possible, and I thought that was maybe the only time we'd ever go there. So we really
Little
had
did
4
you
people
know.
shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it turned out really great. And that was like episode 4 or 5 of 12 for 12. So
Is it? Is
uh,
there? Are we able to watch this online? The
Yeah,
12 for
yeah.
12?
And I mean, we were really lucky to do this.
That's
You know,
amazing.
we interviewed Gary and George Gomez, and
I gotta
we
hear all
played
those.
pinball with Gary. It was a lot of fun to do. It was pretty
That's
amazing.
awesome. I'm gonna post a link in the chat, everyone, where you can actually watch that 12 for 12 episode on their YouTube page. I gotta watch that too. That's really cool. I didn't realize like
Nice.
you kind of like you sought out Stern, and you know what I mean. Like it was I like that. You're like put them in this other show, and then now you're doing so much with them. So that's cool. Chuck, how did you get into pinball?
You know, it was just like bars and restaurants in the 90s. You know, I would be there with friends, and we'd play. And I had a friend that, you know, we went on a snowboard trip to Breckenridge, and they had, I think they had Theater of Magic at this like restaurant that we went to. And I was really just sold on that. I mean, I had played in arcades. I grew up kind of in arcades, you know, but
That's
I
awesome.
wasn't necessarily good at pinball. I'd play a little bit here and there, but you know, it's not like I took off playing. I just really like to play when I go out with friends, and I started to drag friends around to like pub crawls. uh, just because, you know, I would know like there's this game here and that game there, and we could, you know, kind of hit 4 or 5 places in Wicker Park in Chicago, and and just, you know, drink and play pinball.
That's awesome.
It's a gateway drug. Pinball, the gateway drug to wonderful places and
Yeah, no, that's cool because we've worked together a few times in the past, and I guess that it never really like came up. But I didn't realize you were really big into pinball before working with Stern. I thought, maybe you just kind of fell into it, and but that's cool that you kind of like sought it out, and that was like your mission was to
did you have a favorite
do
game in the
pinball
90s?
projects.
What was your game of choice in the 90s?
Well, I remember Delilah's had they had Medieval Madness, which
Mm,
would always, you know, just blow my mind. And I thought
classic.
I was amazing at that game, you know, but then I realized that everyone destroys the castle. Yeah.
Awesome.
And but stuff like that really can kind of get you hooked, you know. And I'm trying to think, when I moved to Pilsen, they had Simpsons Pinball Party at Skylark over there, and I would
Mm.
play that all the time. And that was where
Nice.
I first got into like understanding more of the rules and things. And I never really became like a great player, and I really just liked, you know, that you can make certain things happen, and like, you know, turning my friends onto that too when we'd go there, like, oh yeah, check this out, you could get the multi-ball here and you could do certain things there. um, it wasn't really until I started shooting things for Stern that I even knew about tournaments and other things like that.
Nice. So how did that happen? How did you start working for Stern after the 12 for 12 episode?
So 12 for 12 was it was underwritten by a trade show company called Echelon Design, and they do Stern's trade shows, and it was a great connection for them at the time. Stern was looking for someone. Echelon came on. Echelon or Stern knew that we had made all these 12 for 12 videos, so it became sort of part of the package.
Nice.
And you know, there was I think we started with the first one Echelon did was Aerosmith, and the first one I did was Star Wars. And we've been doing pretty much all of them ever since.
Now you're doing not just trailers and splashy stuff for upcoming games, but you're also doing short docs as well. Um, Amoto, can we roll uh, one of the trailer pieces that he does in one
Yeah,
of our boxes?
we'll play it right here. This is the latest trailer so you guys can see, and then we can talk about it, and I can make it bigger too. But so Rush just came out, so this is a perfect example of Chuck's work. He gets to go in, see the game before any of us, and then make it look so pretty just to show us. And you got a lot of really cool shots, like super dynamic shots to show off the game. The color looks beautiful. Um, I love the. We were talking about this earlier, Chuck, when the video posted that, I texted him immediately. I was like, "Did you use that new tiny Insta 360 cam thing? Because you have some really cool dynamic shots, like right there, following the ball through the shooter lane and in that pop bumpers and stuff. It's well
Tell
done, sir."
you've got a geek on us now. Tell us about
I
optics
know.
and what you.
What was
Yeah,
it
that's an
like
amazing
shooting
shot.
this? It's so beautiful.
Yeah, I think when we started, when we shot for 12 for 12, it was like Ghostbusters and Game of Thrones, and I was taking my phone and putting it in the game and trying to get all those follow shots, and we tried
So
everything. We were
beautiful.
trying GoPros and things like that, and I still do a lot of follow shots. Oh.
Your pizza's here.
Yeah, our pizza's ready. I'll make sure to.
So for this we did use the Insta 360 Go to, and yeah,
It looks
it's
great.
nice. It's small.
Yeah, I've played with the camera a little, and kudos to you for getting the shots to look so clean as they do in this trailer, because I was struggling a lot. But yeah, what a
Now,
great perspective.
when you shoot these, do you shoot them at Stern, or do you get to take them to a different
I'm gonna make it
facility?
bigger so you
Because
guys can see.
it's yeah,
Oh,
it looks like a really cool little space.
I can tell you, Stern has a section that they built out. Actually, Echelon Design, they built out this cube area, and we wheel the games in, or usually Zach Sharp usually comes and wheels the game in, and it's got a cover on it so no one can see it.
The secret studio.
Yeah, and it comes into the space, and a lot of times Zach will shoot it. And we have a curtain, we close it up, and hopefully no one can see it while we're shooting. And you know they could probably hear it. Probably sounds pretty crazy in there, like because we turn the sound of the game all the way down so no one could hear it out there either. So it's people shooting pinball, and a lot of like, hey, can you shoot the right ramp, right ramp, right ramp, right ramp.
Sure. So when who's actually doing the flip of the game usually during one of these filming sessions? Is it usually the designer that knows the game the best, or do you have like you go to these car test tracks, and there's this one guy that tests all the cars? How's that work in the life of a pinball shoot?
I mean, it's probably half of them are Zach Sharp, but Keith
He's the
shoots
guy.
his games
He's the
usually.
race car driver.
He's the race car
Yeah.
driver. Yeah.
It is hilarious though. Like the first one we did for the Star Wars one, it was my assistant that was shooting the game, and we didn't really know
Oh,
much
wow.
about the game either. Yeah, it was Mark Salak, who I work with a lot, and he's okay, but he's not like a tournament player by any
Yeah.
means.
Wow.
And so for the next game, Zach had just been hired like around that time, and the next game we shot was Guardians of the Galaxy, and Zach was shooting it, and it just blew my mind. Like
He
he
can
could
actually hit the
every
shots that I
shot.
want to see.
Yeah, you can actually see the shots where I have the camera.
Isn't that
Awesome.
so nice where you're like, okay, hit this drop target bang, and then the person actually hits it and you get the shot,
Yeah.
and like,
Oh my god, it still blows my mind. Like all these
production
like
speeds up so much
multi-balls.
faster.
Oh my god, like
Yeah.
it's really great to watch, and sometimes I can't always tell until I see it when I get the footage back, and I'm like, wow, he hit that, and he hit that, and he hit those two in a row. I didn't even notice.
Do you ever put
And
in slow-mo multi-ball footage? I don't remember if I've seen,
yeah, I shoot a lot of
because
it
it's
slow.
so beautiful. Like, yeah, when you see the kinetic energy of the balls hitting each other at the exact right time.
It is a weird thing to shoot it slow because I always thought, yeah, that's the way to go. Just shoot everything slow. You could get in there and move with it. The first video we did, actually, the Star Wars one, I think the whole video was slow, and the first comments I got back were, "It looks great. Cut out all the slow motion." And
Oh
I was
wow.
like,
Yeah,
it's like,
that's
oh
true.
wow.
It takes too long. but it is
Yeah,
beautiful
so
visuals.
yeah. And I mean, the edit had to be completely redone. Just one comment cut out the slow motion. It's like, oh wow, I have to redo everything.
Now, is it all handheld, or are you using any kind of stabilization for those shots?
Yeah, I mean, we really mix it up. There's handheld, there's a slider, and sometimes a gimbal.
Mm.
We were working with the jib for a while.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
jib is probably going to come back, but the
yeah,
jib has its own issues
yeah,
trying to get it in there and get it
yeah,
centered.
yeah.
One of the weirdest things that I guess people don't realize is a lot of the game only makes sense from certain points of view. You want to be kind of straight on from the player's point of view. And if you get the jib in there and it's coming in from the side, to line everything up it's really hard to do.
Yeah. Yeah, we've Moto tried to shoot with a jib on one of our first shoots, and it was just a bear. It was.
It's like more frustrating than anything else.
Yeah, Moto said once, I could do that with a drone. Stop it! It's just like, it's
Every
driving
little
me.
thing. It's like,
I'll just
yeah.
fly the drone over.
I mean, if we had, one of those expensive giant motorized crane, right, where
Yeah,
all the heads are moving, we could do some fascinating stuff in there. Add like a probe lens to the end of it, so it's like
and the optics and all the other stuff that goes along with trying to be so far away to get the right shot and the right angle. It was tough. We needed twice the ceiling space too. It's hard.
Yeah.
So great looking stuff.
Tasker Smith asked, "Is nudging allowed when filming?" I imagine
It is definitely
right?
allowed.
I'm sure Zach nudges while he plays, gets you good shots. Or
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't realize how much those great players nudge. Honestly, I always thought it's a little more taboo, but no, they're really pros at
yeah,
nudging too. So.
the soft touches go a long way too.
Mm.
Like I
Yeah,
feel
I mean,
like
if you
Keith's nudges are like very subtle, compared
Mhm.
to like Josh Sharp. If you ever
Yeah.
seen him play, he flails around a lot.
Do you use a piece of film or something for the backglass to pull down the brightness? A lot of times I see people when they try to film pinball that the backglass is like blown out because the LEDs are so bright. Do you have a
Yeah, the
trick
lighting
that-
looks
back here.
really great.
Yeah, the
in
light
this,
looks
in this
yeah,
rush teaser truck.
yeah, color is good. Everything about it's
Yeah.
good.
Thanks.
Super clean.
Let's see. So you could
Magic
adjust the
is
brightness right in the menu, and that was just an amazing thing that when I found out we can do that somewhere,
Do you think you
around 3
had
years ago.
influence over that? Maybe. You know what I mean? Like, cause
Maybe.
you're on a shoot, with Jack, and you're like, oh man, the trans light's always so blown out. It'd be you have to put a filter over it or whatever, and then maybe they're like, oh, we should have an adjustable feature for that.
So that's
people
that's
like
more
us,
for
when they film it, it works well.
yeah. Well, there we go. Is that so? That would be for the newer games though, for the LED games versus like the older games are just the lights are the bulbs are on or they're on. So
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I haven't shot many old games, honestly. I'd like to, but it's just the newest things that are coming out usually.
Oh, yeah, it's just so bad that you have to only do the new stuff. That's all the new cool stuff. Yeah, that's just want to get my hands on some of that old stuff. No, it looks
So with
impressive.
the trailers, just some stories. I know you sent this one. This is the latest one. This is a great example of your work and your work so far. But do you have a favorite production game? Which game that you did that it was the best production process? Like you had the most fun shooting.
Yeah, fun and pinball shooting isn't always, going together.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I mean, I have a lot of stress. I mean, I think it's fun at the time where I get excited about the game, but there's a lot that has to go right to get it
There's
right.
a lot riding on it. Yeah.
Well, it's professional video making. It's like, oh, isn't that a great job? And you're like, yeah, it's great. And it's always a lot harder than to make it look
It's a good
good.
place to watch a stream.
Yeah. I mean, for Deadpool, we had talked to a lot of people about Deadpool beforehand, And so when they finally, wheeled Deadpool in, I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. you know, and I was really excited to shoot it. I mean, it is amazing when that game gets wheeled in and unveiled, and
So
you just kind of look over it like, whoa,
do you
wow.
know what games before they
Oh my
unveil it to
god.
you, or is it do you like know that you're going to go see it and that it has these many ramps or a photograph of it so that you can plan, or do you find out when you get there how you're going to shoot the thing, and then how long do you have to shoot? What is
Mhm.
your usual timeline for shooting a
Oh
game
yeah,
like
that's a
this?
good question. Yeah, how long do they give you? How long do you get to create all of
Yeah.
You
these
got 20
beautiful
minutes,
shots? I
Chuck. We'll see.
know.
Yes.
Here's,
This is not
no.
stressful, Chuck. 20 minutes. We'll see you soon. Got to pull this off and get it in production.
All right. So, I get to see some of the whitewood process here and
Okay.
there. And
Nice.
sometimes I'm talking with someone, like I'll talk with Harrison and he'll show me where they're at in the whitewood process. Um, so when I saw like the Godzilla game, I was just totally blown away.
I love
And
that game.
I was just like, I couldn't believe they were doing all this. And I didn't even really get it. And even I looked at it 3 or 4 times, I think, just in passing, where I'd come back to it and be like, what is going on with this building? And so when we shot it, it started to all click, but I was really excited to see it, but I didn't know how it was all going to come together because I hadn't really seen it flipped. So yeah, there are games that will be kind of in this one development room, and from time to time I could take a look and ask questions about them. When it comes time to shoot them, uh, now because we're shooting all the features of the game, we do spend a lot longer. We'll do it in a pretty full day, I'd say. Um, we do both games. We do the pro and the premium together. If we have extra time, we
Oh,
might pick up a
nice.
little bit for the making of or something else, or we'll see what's on the line that day too, and try to shoot a little bit of that while we're there at the factory. But yeah, I'd say a good 2 to 3 hours per game. It just depends on what the features are. Like
How many?
for Avengers, we had a list of like 18 features that we needed to shoot for each
Uh,
game.
how big is your
That's
crew when you go in to film something like this? How many people know the actual secrets? Is it how many people are in behind the scene?
I mean, honestly, normally it's usually just Edita and I and whoever's shooting the game. The designer will stop by, depending on who worked on it. Uh, they'll give us some details about how the rules are working, or if we need to make some mech function, because they're always not always functioning perfectly when we're shooting
sure.
them. So
Yeah.
sometimes we run into that too.
And Edita is who?
Oh, Edita's she's the other person behind Most Visual, the other primary person behind Most Visual, and she's also my wife. We're a couple, and we
Nice. Power
run the
couple.
production company together.
Power
That's
couple.
awesome.
And she's the designer too as well, right? She does a lot of the graphic design work.
Yeah, so she does graphic design, motion graphics. She's, I like to say, our creative director. Usually that's for
Nice.
agencies and things, but a lot of times we're working as we are a full agency instead of just a production company.
So for all those filmmakers out there watching this, it's always good to have your significant other be a filmmaker, if not at least a film supporter. If not, we probably wouldn't be doing what we do. So
Yeah,
thank for all those people out there that support our filmmaking friends and who are
indeed.
power couples.
Yeah.
So
I think
excellent.
all of our significant others help us with our movie production, so that's awesome.
You gotta
We're
gotta
all
have a
in
good
good
significant
company.
other. Yeah.
So Chuck, when you shoot, since you get to shoot with someone else playing the game, who is your favorite person to shoot with? As far as they get to play the game, because you shot with Jack Danger, Keith, Zach. Who else has flipped in some of your? I feel like there's someone else, right?
We,
Has Raymond done one
Nick
yet?
Nick Wayna.
Nick Wayna, yeah, Nick Wayna did.
Nick Wayne is great to work with. Yeah,
He is great.
I
Yeah.
think he's great. when Roper was there, he shot a couple for me. Um,
Oh, that's
I like
cool.
I like to shoot with Zach. I'm really comfortable shooting with Zach, and I think we have a good rapport. He always knows what he wants. Um,
Mm.
Zach pretty much
Nice.
comes up with a lot of the the idea behind a lot of these videos for the theme and
Mm.
things, especially the teaser. He'll have this great idea for a teaser and contact me about it. So I think it's great to shoot with him.
That's
Tell,
awesome.
t- Tell us a little bit about that process as far as you do the teaser. You're also doing this kind of extended documentary work that we're going to share with a clip, a portion or one of your favorite videos. We're going to share that here in a second. But
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about the process of working with Stern. Do
Thanks
they
for joining
they
us,
come
sir.
out with a game? They actually have an idea of how they're going to treatment or an idea or a pitch that they'll work with you to develop. So it's more so each one's a little bit different. I'm sure the documentary is going to be even more fleshed out than just the sizzle trailer. But tell us a little bit about that
Mhm.
process, Wister.
Yeah, depending on the game, I could, Rush might be a really good example of this. Like, so Zach had some ideas for how the teaser can come together. Uh, there was some different animation that the graphics guys there were doing, the computer graphics department, and so he'll tell me the idea. He told me the music that he thought would work with that, and a lot of
Nice.
times it works like that. Also, it's built around the music and some of the visuals, and we do want it to be just a teaser. It's kind
Mm.
of the unveiling of the license.
Sparkly.
When it
It
comes
is
to
sparkly.
doing the trailer, I'll get a list then, usually from Zach Sharp, of all the features in the game, and that's kind of our shooting list.
Yeah.
And then we'll go through and just try to knock them out one by one. Uh, Obviously we're showing up with whatever equipment we might need for whatever mechanisms we're really trying to capture too. For something like Godzilla, I knew it was going to, be dropping the balls down there, and I had that shot in mind for a while of pulling off the building
Mm.
and following
Nice.
the multi ball down. We did something kind of similar with Guardians of the Galaxy, but I knew this was going to be even more visually rich to capture something like that. So tried it a couple different ways with the longer slider, having it mounted over. And
You,
yeah, for every one of these games, we're doing the teaser, the trailer, and then game features for the Pro and Premium.
well,
So that list really comes in handy when we need to show all of the functionality of the game. And we've been getting more into even some of the rules of the game and how those meet up with the mechs in the game or some of the features too. Then we do the making of also. So the making ofs, they started, we're doing them at about 6 minutes. Now we're doing them at like 12 minutes.
They're getting
wow.
longer. There's so much
And,
content.
yeah.
And as usually shorter time frames work well,
And
but
you
for
blew
our
me
community, we love all the
and you
information.
blew me away with the amount of videos you're doing a year for them. I mean, that's a lot of work. Can you tell us a little bit about how much, a little bit about the quantity of films? I'm kind of leading you
Mhm.
on with that, but it's you're a very busy man.
Yeah, I think we do about 40 a year for Stern, and every Cornerstone game gets about 6 videos. There's the teaser, the trailer, the game
Wow,
features for Pro and Premium,
amazing.
the
Yeah,
making
that's a
of,
lot.
and now the accessories. We're trying to make that its own video each time too. We just did a really nice one for Godzilla actually, and so there's those. So, and usually there's like a studio game or some other home edition, something like that we'll shoot also.
Oh, yeah.
And then some different things about around the factory or whatever else is coming up. This year we did shoot the Insider Connected footage, so that was a big launch. And some side things too, depending on what's
You're
happening.
breathing and living pinball. It's a glorious place to be. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So another just random question for my curiosity. What has been the most difficult, like, play-filled mech that you had to shoot, and what was like your process of accomplishing it? Because sometimes like it's hard to get the shots and the angles that you need to really show off this mech, and you want to do it justice, right? You want to
Yeah.
show it off as best as you can in that 3 seconds you get. Was
Right.
there anyone that stood out to you, like where you had to work extra hard to get that shot?
hmm You know, the Deadpool one where it launches it up into the like the ninja multi-ball area,
Oh
or
yeah, it's a long pathway too. Yeah,
yeah,
to
that
lock the
was that
ball.
was kind of tough. And then, you know, on George's games, it seems like he'll have some things tucked away there in the back that
Right.
are really hard to shoot. You know, for something like Godzilla, we just completely gave up trying to shoot that 180 in the back. Like it was like, how are we going to show that? Anything in the back of the game is tough. The child shot for Mandalorian was really
Oh
kind of
right.
tough to show that. And yeah, anything back there, it's really, it's hard to light. It's hard to, you kind of get over it, and it's tough to show it.
What's your we talked a little bit about your some of the filming technology you're using. Do you see anything on the horizon that's going to make that easier to be filmed? I mean, we all love GoPros, but we also say how difficult they are to work with. We love how small they are, but optically it's kind of wild. And you had some wonderful shots too, where you're following the ball through, as well as you have depth of field on it. Anything on a GoPro is all you see everything. You know, it's a very small lens. What technology have you been using, and what do you like and what you don't like about filming these games?
I mean, if you think about it, the you know what you need to shoot in the action is this ball that's moving so fast, and you know, you need also, you know, there's not a lot of light in the game. There's light coming from the game, so you
Right.
need to add a lot of extra light for that, just to be able to capture the ball and show how it moves around the playfield. Um, so you know, shooting into light sources is really difficult anyways. So um, technology wise, it would be great to have like an iPhone that was like this big
Sure.
I know, right?
with three lenses,
Yeah.
and
It's my
its own
dream.
little
My dream.
drone that would carry it
Yeah,
around.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
That'd be great.
And and
I need to
one of
turn
the
it
things
off.
too that you've done really well in this footage too is lighting it, because people, you know, to see the graphics, to see a lot of that, you know, stuff on the game, it is a you got to light the see the graphics, but then sometimes your bumpers and other things will blow out. Again, is there any magic there that you're using, or secrets to the game, to lighting that game? What else can I learn about my pinball filming?
Chuck, teach us how to light pinball machines so we could make them look as beautiful as you do. That's what he said.
Yeah, dude, yeah, you got me,
We
you
just have to
got me.
bring Chuck with us on our
Yeah,
journey.
you got me salivating here. I got to figure out your secrets, dude.
You
So
know, honestly, if you could use daylight, not that we use the daylight at Stern, but that's probably the easiest thing to
The
do.
sun is the best.
the
I
sun, we all
When we
love the
shot
sun.
Light
the
source.
Ghostbusters stuff at Logan Arcade for 12 for 12, I didn't even realize there were, you know, they had a skylight in there, because I had always been there at night, and they have a skylight and it's just shining right down on the game. And I walked in, I was
Oh,
The
like,
aura sound.
yeah, I was like, oh no, this is horrible. It's lighting up the whole game. How am I going to shoot it? And you know, as soon as I turned on the camera, I was like, this is amazing.
you right? Looks
And I was
good
like,
in the
why
camera.
don't we shoot everything under a skylight? Great.
I know.
Love it.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
so if
just
you need
a
a
lot of light.
studio with a bunch of like really big sky pans,
Yeah.
you know, that would be great. Uh,
So okay,
some
you
of the
wanna?
questions I was gonna say, yeah, we're gonna go to the documentary soon, but if y'all have questions in the chat for Chuck, feel free to drop them in. I am saving them for our Q&A session, so if I don't ask them yet, then that's where they're going.
And then we're going
But
to
feel
do
free
our
to ask
random
them.
selection as well. So as is our custom, toward the end of the
Yep.
program, we will select at random now one of the people who did ask that question, and we'll give them some swag.
Yeah.
So, but let's watch some more work. I'm excited to see more and get more inspired by Chuck's work.
Right. So basically, we have explored Chuck's cinematography prowess and how he makes pinball machines look so beautiful. And now the next layer of Chuck and Most Visual is y'all are also awesome storytellers. So with the behind the scenes documentaries, the mini documentaries that y'all are making with Stern, we wanted to play your favorite out of the ones you've done so far, and then come back and kind of talk about what it's like making documentaries, short documentaries, getting your storyline together, and how much is scripted versus not, and all that other fun production stuff. So, do you want to give us a little introduction for why you chose the Avengers Infinity Quest documentary before we play it?
Sure. This was like the...
No pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah, no problem. This was like the 10th making of documentary that we made. And I think that was where everything kind of clicked. We used to kind of ambush the designers in their office and, just have some extra time and be like, all right, we're here with the light. And they're all great to work with, but it wasn't the same as kind of sitting them down and, having everything ready to go and a lot of prepared questions. And, I've gotten, a little more astute about what I could ask and stuff. And so everything really just came together with Avengers. We shoot it at Stern still, but we shoot it in a side room, like an upstairs area called the Crow's Nest. And so we put a backdrop there, and it's quiet enough, and we don't have to worry about shooting in people's offices. And we put people on the hot seat. We shoot for 40 minutes per person anymore. And they just keep giving us more and more people, and I'm happy to talk to them. So we have a lot of rich content to work with, and it's been great to make these. And there's a Mandalorian one that should be coming out soon too. Nice. We already shot the Godzilla one, and that's gonna be great. There's one with Jack for the Jurassic Park pin. So
good.
This one was done a little while ago, but I think it's where everything came together.
Hey, Amoda, we're breaking news here on our show.
I know, right?
There's upcoming pinball documentaries. Ooh, thanks for the scoop, Chuck.
Big news, more videos.
Heard it here.
You heard it here. Scoops.
Awesome. Do you have a release date for The Mandalorian?
You knew they were coming your way.
You guys will see. It'll pop up on the Stern page. All right, well, let's head over to our content screen and go ahead and play the Avengers Infinity Quest behind the scenes video. And everyone, feel free to chat and ask questions. Here we go. Haha, just kidding. I'm back. Hello, everybody. Let's not play that one. Let's play a different one.
That's a great video.
It's beautiful.
It's solid.
The bokeh.
I think a good game design has a good mixture of both easy and hard shots, easy to follow, lots of shot flow. It's got to give you that feeling that you accomplished something always. That's how I approach any design.
No way.
So this is Avengers Infinity Quest Pinball, where we take the comic book universe and turn it into the ultimate pinball experience.
So the story is basically the Black Order has gone through time and collected the gems, but they haven't reached Thanos yet. So Doctor Strange is sending all the Avengers back in time to battle the Black Order to get those gems back.
I want you to bring back that gem.
Let's get him, team.
It's just a really great union of both layout and rules and pinball moments that all comes together in an amazing package.
You look at this and you can go, it's a Keith game from a mile away.
This is Team Elwin's third game at Stern Pinball.
Harrison Drake is our lead mechanical engineer.
I'd never touched a pinball machine before I started working here.
Our head programmer is Rick Nagel. The guy's a ninja.
We work a little different than the other teams in that he will design the rule set as well as the playfield layout.
Our support programmer, Raymond, who also helped me with some of the rules.
I'm able to just come up with rules that I like and hope other people like them as well.
And of course, Zombie Yeti, Jeremy Packer on art.
I'm aiming to be the Keith Elwin of art. That is
For Asgard!
The obvious answer was Iron Man, because I'm the engineer, but I kind of like the character of Thor, kind of a little sarcastic, so I'll say Thor, but I'm sure everyone else said Iron Man.
If he doesn't say Iron Man, he's lying.
It's the stereotype.
Captain America, I suppose.
what I liked in the beginning versus what I liked in the end is a little bit different. Right now, I'd say Hulk is up there.
I'm a nerd, so I'd have to say Iron Man.
Doctor Strange, because I got the little Doctor Strange going on. Look here.
Probably Doctor Strange. Very even-tempered and relaxed and go with the flow.
If it's not fun, it's not pinball, right? So we built some really low-res, quick, dirty, hack-together versions of games just to get the shots down, the flow down, figure out where mechs need to go, and get something that we want to play, even if it is just literally a piece of wood in a box.
My favorite part of the game design is building the first whitewood based on the CAD I've been working on for usually a couple months before that. We'll do a one-to-one printout, we'll assemble it by hand, we'll shoot it, and it's like, oh, this works great, or no, this sucks, I need to redo this. So. This game was designed around the Doctor Strange sling ring, a spinning disc mech that I've wanted to do for a couple games now, and I thought it would fit perfectly into this game due to how Doctor Strange uses his magic portal.
This was something Keith really wanted to nail and make one of the best, fastest spinning playfield spinners that pinball's ever seen. This is the kinetically satisfying thing we had to iterate on this game.
The layout, I was going for more traditional shot angles than I have in my previous games. So I wanted to make an upper left flipper game, much more integrated in the game as far as things to shoot.
The gauntlet ramp, first whitewood, we threw the thing on there just messing around, and you could hit it repeatedly and loop it from the upper flipper. So we kind of accidentally created this self-looping upper flipper ramp shot.
The metal ramps and the steepness of the ramps in the back opened up a ton of space to add other shots and other things to go for.
Vertical ramp, Keith really wanted a shot in this spot, but with the pop bumpers being right there, we didn't know what to do with it. We basically looked at it and said, let's just take where the shot would normally go and kind of just bend it up out of the playfield into the vertical ramp it is now. And the next step was, we yanked a magnet out of a T-Rex mechanism, stuck it right on the end there. And on the first shot, it went right up there, stuck to the magnet, got a nice pause, and we're like, we're doing this. The rules for the Hawkeye Challenge is a perfect fit for that type of mechanism with the countdown, the drop, and then setting up those shots.
Hawkeye Challenge. Get ready.
I think people are excited to see what the Captain Marvel ramp does. Because when you look at that, it just looks so different. And it's like, man, what does that do? I want to shoot that.
The Captain Marvel loop ramp, Keith found an old ramp in the back, took a Jurassic Park half pipe ramp, cut the top off, open it up like a can, stuck the ramp in. So it's off your flipper, up the ramp, into the wire form, turn around and come right back to the flipper.
I have to pitch everything to Gary and sell him on it. And if it has anything to do with a retro vibe, he's for it. The Subway ball lock feature is a throwback to Flight 2000s, Gary Stern's favorite game from the 80s. It can actually lock 3 balls and step them through all of the relatively simple mechanics.
We have a visual subway. We know roughly it's got to come out near the flipper. How do you get in there? And the obvious thing was, we got this big disc hole in the playfield. Let's use it for something else. So I kind of whipped up this version of the mech so you could shoot down through that hole that already existed in the playfield.
You access the portal through the Doctor Strange disc on the Premium and LE. If you spin the disc, you spell Strange, it pops up. If you shoot it into the subway, it's got some RGB light shows down there. It can hold the balls or it can pass them through. And Gary loved it because it harkens back to his favorite classic Stern game.
So Keith has an outline of all his rules that basically he breaks down into little tasks, like code this one mode. It should have this progression of shots. It should, give you somewhere in the ballpark of this many points.
It's a great resource for Raymond to be on the team with Keith because they're both like high competitive players. You pair that with my technical knowledge and me architecting the game, I think it's a great combination.
The bread and butter of the game. It's the whole goal where you go in Doctor Strange's portal and get sent to recover a gem.
Hulk, get the power gem.
And so you're fighting against someone for this gem.
Doctor needs stone. Hulk here for stone.
Once you win the gem quest, now you got to decide, what do I do with this gem?
Entrust an Avenger with the power gem.
So there's 6 gems in the game. Each one has its own special power. Like the reality gem will do multipliers. The power gem will allow you to keep your Avenger powered up.
It's another level of strategy is not only what gems you get, but where they are.
That was a good idea to have each shot represent a character. You're shooting shots, you're collecting Avengers. You want to collect all the Avengers and do something exciting. So you get this cool wizard mode called the Soul Gem.
The flip mode is the Soul Gem mode. There's 8 shots and you have 30 flips. Every time you hit a flipper switch, it's subtracting a flip. But if you drain, you get the ball back. It just takes flips away from you. Once you get to 0 flips, the mode ends.
It's kind of like a different mindset for like how you normally play pinball.
You want to take your time because every missed shot means more flips you're going to need. Things can go wrong pretty fast, as anyone who's played it can tell you. You're down to your last flip and you hit a shot and then add some more flips. And so now you've got just these few flips left and you hit another shot and add more flips, and it snowballs into this really fun, exciting mode.
Our guys basically really kind of jumped in with both feet to come up with a look that we haven't done before. We had to animate everything and come up with a style, and the look we wanted to convey was comic book pages come to life. It looks like we did a lot more animation than we did, like a Hulk animation, which was just 2 frames provided by Marvel. It looks like he's actually animating. We hit a lot of things with particles and effects and explosions and background stuff, which is also credit to the art team. We tend to try to convey a lot of information to players, and generally they're looking at the play field. We're standardizing the interface. A lot of it's based on feedback from players. You want to have your scores at the bottom screen so you're not looking up too far from the play field. The rest of the UI frame is catered to the game.
Mystery.
So this is my second game working with Jeremy Packer, aka Zombie Yeti. I think we have a pretty good relationship. We both enjoy dad jokes and discussing art.
I remember when Keith first showed me this, he's like, listen, I left this entire area down here open for you. You can put all kinds of stuff down there. And then I'm like, oh, crap. I have to have 20 characters, so that seems like an easy one. But I try to put a lot of thought and time into what I'm going to do with each of those characters. I'm creating everything from scratch, like my version of it. I really had fun drawing Thanos, probably more than anything. Only because he is just a big brute of a thing. But then I got to, do the Black Order folks, and, they're interesting in and of themselves. This is a comic book game. It's not based on the movies, and that's why you have sort of the panel framing elements. I like to kind of put in the broad strokes and figure out shot paths, and I knew I was going to have the Hulk shot here, and I wanted to do the hackneyed transformation because, well, I've never had a chance to do it, so why not?
It's just a monster game. It's like huge.
You want to keep hitting the start button over and over again on this game.
I think as we go, everything's getting a little more polished in the game.
It's a different perspective and take on what games can be and what they should be.
Hope they like it.
You should be grateful to meet an end by my hand.
This game has a lot of kinetic satisfaction. Trademark.
The story of the universe has reached its conclusion.
Oh wait,
Fun.
it's okay. You guys just missed our corny joke. I unmuted us
It's all-
now. Hello,
it's all right.
everybody. Oh,
Hello, we're
Michael
back with
Blair,
the corny
thanks for
joke.
joining us. So y'all just watched the Avengers Infinity Quest making of video, and I just dropped in the chat the playlist link on Stern's YouTube page that has all of the making of documentaries there.
Right.
So that's awesome. So you just record a bunch of interviews and footage, and then go into post-production and like, I'm gonna make a story out of this. Right?
You know, pretty much.
You do
Cla-
a
that's-
great job at doing that, but whew.
Classic documentary, man.
Yeah.
So, do we want to open this up for some questions from our viewers?
Yep,
And see
absolutely.
what Chuck's got to say?
It's very corny. Thanks, Malgrams. Yeah, so if anyone has any questions for Chuck, you can drop it in the chat and we'll ask them. In the meantime, so we had Joel in here before saying you like dive bars, film, video, and pinball. Any chance you're looking for a friend?
You know, I'm pretty friendly. I don't drink anymore,
Joel
so
Kaiser.
I don't hang out at the bars too often, but I do go to barcades. So yeah, if you see me at Logan, come on up and talk to me.
Awesome. All right, here's
You
a
can
real question. All right, do you have? This is good. Do you have plans to film any pinball skills videos? Or and to add that, which another question was asked, or filming older games in the same style that you're filming these new Stern pinball machines, because that would be awesome.
Yeah, that is an idea that I had. I'd love to go back through, and we had an Attack from Mars here for a little while, and I thought it'd be great to just shoot that, and I never did. But
No, Chuck, why?
I think I want to. I'm gonna have to make that happen. And yeah, I'd love to go through a bunch of older games and or make it a series where we tackle the features and the mechs and the graphics and everything.
Chuck, do you ever get out to pinball conventions? So if people were wanting to come by and shoot a game with you, offered to bring some quarters, do you get out to any of the conventions?
Yeah, I was just at Expo, and I was at Midwest in Milwaukee, and yeah, it depends. I mean, I went to one whole Replay FX. It was amazing. I was looking really forward to going back again.
Oh no.
Now, are these for work or for pleasure when you visit?
So Replay FX, I was there for Stern to shoot the Jurassic Park launch and the tournament. That's when Keith won the tournament at the same weekend as the game launch. Very epic. And,
it was a good moment in pinball history.
Yeah. And then Emoto and I actually shot quite a bit at Expo this year.
Oh, we shot so much at Pinball Expo. The costume contest, I believe, is public, right? On Stern's page.
Hopefully, somewhere.
And there should be some other fun stuff being released. I don't know if it's going to the Stern Insider first, or what their distribution process is.
Yeah, so I shot the highlight video. I think I shot
the
whole
highlight
video.
Yep, the recap reel is on. I can link to that. The Chicago Expo recap reel. That was awesome. That new location is just nuts. Awesome.
So if they're going to see you working at these events, though, you're not going to be there just hanging out.
He's
You
behind the
probably
camera.
shouldn't bug Chuck when he's got a camera and he's filming. But in between shots, maybe he'll play a game of pinball. There's only a couple minutes.
You could tell me you're on a game and you're having a great game. I'd love to shoot your great, hand flipper action kind of anyone with the moves, I'd love to shoot them getting down on a game.
Nice. That's great.
That's a good point. I would say that should be a fair thing to any of us, right? As videographers there, I feel like it's always daunting for me to come up to you when you're playing pinball and ask if I can shoot your game.
Yeah.
So if you see us walking around with a camera and it obviously looks like we're trying to get some good shots, please feel free to invite us over to come get closer to your gameplay. That would help all of our jobs.
Yeah, we the last thing we want to do is like screw up somebody who's in the zone, and
Right.
we're like, "Hey, we got this big camera. You're in the zone. We're gonna bother you." But yeah, if we are shooting out there, please, we should send that out to the world. So excellent.
Very cool. So we went through one of the things we haven't talked about yet is your Instagram. So just to give a little introduction, when Chuck goes and gets all these amazing shots and footage capturing the behind the scenes and the making of videos and create a 6 to 10-ish minute documentary, you have so much more content, I'm sure, that you've shot in that meantime that will never see the light of day but are still beautiful, awesome moments. So you have developed a plan to still share with us who want all of those moments too, as a pinball enthusiast, right?
Yes.
That's a lot of
You've said
words,
it
right?
Nice lead
better
in
than
there,
I could have.
Omoto. Well done.
Yeah, you really said it much better than I
Transition.
could have. We shoot a ton of stuff. I love to shoot. I'll be there at the factory. I'll just be shooting like crazy, and sometimes, one of 3 or 4 shots will make it. Someone will have a game on a rotisserie, and I'll just be like, "It's so amazing! Oh my god!" And I'll just shoot it till I can't shoot it anymore, and then I just have a ton of footage now. And I know it's things that other people might like too if I like it. So I'm hoping to share more. We've shot so many games. I want to say it's like 16 games now. So a lot of those we've shot on the line, and also all the highlights and all the great playing. Sometimes Zach will have like an amazing multi-ball, or Keith had an amazing multi-ball. Or just some great, Godzilla gameplay. It's a place to put all of that extra footage that isn't
awesome.
in the other videos.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and any time you cut something, you always want to get that perfect little moment, and you kind of sit there and you wait, and there might be another moment that's just as good, but that one works better for the edit. So yeah, we always have so much more footage than we actually can use just for that one particular purpose. Sometimes we have entire interviews that would work great in another context, but that just doesn't work for our particular video. So yeah, it's a great way to get the information out there. And by the way, I wanted to also comment by rewatching your doc there, how wonderfully humorous they are as well. There's some really good senses of humor in there, and it's paced really well, and there's just the editing is just spot on. So good shooting, good editing, good storytelling, and again, if he's going out there and shooting and getting tons of stuff and then sculpting it down like a sculptor, you just keep chiseling away to the good stuff, and then you finally have something to present. Classic documentary style filmmaking. Brilliant work, and it's one of my favorites. I get tired of having somebody on screen telling me what to think at each time. I want the interviews to bring me along and do that storytelling. Yeah. That's my favorite kind of storytelling, because it's harder than just having somebody saying, "We're here at this place, we're telling you how to think about this stuff." Great filmmaking. So thank you very much for doing that, and very insightful, very, very well done. So thank you for being on the show and sharing with us. Yeah, we excellent work.
I really liked how you asked, everyone said their favorite Avenger character or what Avenger character they cute. Most likely were like. I thought that was such a fun touch, and gave you like that nice little like insider perspective on these people a little bit more, which is fun.
I'm graying just like the magic guy. So excellent. Excellent. very fun.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, obviously, and I think it's just a great place to put it all together. You know, we get behind the scenes footage from the guys too. It's great to house that in there, and people love to see that. So I love to see it. So if I like it, I'm hoping other people like it. If I think it's funny, I hope other people think it's funny. Sometimes they don't, but whatever.
Oh, okay. Sorry. One last Emoto comment question. You shot the making of the Black Knight, right? And James, you have to watch. Well, it's a super insider pinball thing. We have to watch it. So he has Tim Sexton dressed up exactly like Steve Ritchie, and they're like walking down the hall together and doing all these like goofy things where it's like a mini version of him. Like, whose idea was that? Because that was like the most hilarious thing I'd ever seen.
You know, Tim wanted to do that. Tim had the idea, and
Nice.
he had the watch, or Steve brought an extra watch for
the
him to
big
wear.
gold watch.
Yeah, I mean, they were great to shoot together. I really like those
So
guys too, and Tim's just such an excellent communicator. So he really carries a lot of that documentary, but the stuff with him and Steve together was just magic.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm glad y'all get to like play and have some fun with these.
Yeah,
two.
totally.
It's just,
it's
so
and
good. I know.
It's wonderful that Stern gives you that freedom too to put that kind of content out, and they trust you, and it's obviously that the people that you're interviewing, you know, have fun with you and trust you as well. So, you know, they're sharing a lot, and it really does it makes for great documentary work. So
I mean, it's pinball. It has to be fun, right?
Yeah, we get that. It is
core
a
value.
Core value.
Awesome. Cool. Well, so everyone, if you have any more questions for Chuck, put them in the chat. If not, we're going to do the giveaway drawing. Chuck, what's next for you in life and pinball media creating?
Wow. That's, I didn't know you were going to ask me that question.
So it's the only thing we didn't ask you before.
What's 2022 look like for you?
A lot more
what are
pinball.
your goals?
Do you have any do you have some other documentaries that you might be intrigued to explore? Other ideas that you're working with?
Oh yeah. We're working on a number of things. Yeah. Okay.
Something for state parks. Kind of go into that.
He's
bit.
like, well, I'm trying to schedule another snowboarding trip, but I'm not sure.
Oh my gosh, we have so many things going on, really. Yeah.
Well, let us know. What can we look forward to?
What's the next project you're working on that you're most excited for? That you can tell us about.
Yes, that's not secret. That's not under contract.
Wow. Jeez. Well, I've been working on this series called Calumet Films. It's an environmental series on the Calumet region where I grew up, which is the most green area and the most heavy industrial area in the country in a way.
Yeah.
So all of that, there's new episodes of that we've been working on, and we're going to have another season of that. We have 3 out now.
Wow. That's awesome.
So this is a web series?
Where can we watch
web
that?
series.
Yeah.
So it's on YouTube. It's Calumet Films.
Okay. I'll drop a link in the chat.
And you know, we kind of quietly released the first 3. We have another 4 that are in the can and that are ready to go. There is a long form version of the Bill's Records documentary called Love and Records. That is still in the works, and it's a big story. You know, Bill passed away in the beginning of 2020, and we were out there in Dallas shooting with a lot of people close to him, and
wow.
So that's coming together, feature length called Love and Records, and short documentary project on the metaverse for the great people at Surreal Events.
Gosh. Cool.
The metaverse.
Yeah, and a lot of other fun things.
Dude, you're so busy. You haven't even named the 40 pinball videos you're working on with Stern.
Yeah, and 40 more videos for Stern.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and 40 more
you have
videos
to clone
for
yourself. And I'm
You know,
arching and shit up
we
there
work with
too.
people. You know, we have
Yeah. You guys have a big
people
team,
that do
and
great work.
your team is growing, which is awesome. Creating great stuff. That's so exciting. Very cool. All right. So for the few people that ask questions, including me, if you guys are still here, we're gonna go to the giveaway screen. I know, right?
Yeah, you just want the swag from
Everyone was so
Chuck. You just want Chuck's
inundated
swag.
watching the content and listening.
So what
that
are we giving away?
We asked so many great questions on ourselves. So we'll be giving away a Marco Pinball hat and shirt keychain swag pack for this one. Yeah,
I should ask a question to get one of those.
I know, right? We're gonna send
Stick it
you
in
one
the chat.
anyway,
Yeah.
Chuck. I know. You'll
Stick it
take
in the
8.
chat.
All right, let's go to the raffle screen. I think it's working. There we go. There's my little cheesy wheel. All right, let's see. Is it gonna be Pinball Gramps again? Didn't you just win something? And the winner is Tasker Smith. I think Tasker, you were on YouTube or Facebook. So congratulations, Tasker. If you're still in the chat, send me your shipping address and shirt size to marcotv@marcopinball.com. Yay.
Yay.
Yay, Tasker's there. Awesome. Congrats.
Tasker.
Thanks for asking such great questions, too. You're asking the same things I was thinking. Alright, send.
Did you guys either happen to watch the Rush mini documentary on Rush in the studio?
Where can we see it? Where is it? What is it on? Is it streaming?
That's on the Stern YouTube also.
Oh no!
I have queued it up. I have not watched it yet. Did you shoot that one too?
So I didn't shoot it. Someone actually in Canada, and his name's escaping me. A friend of Ed Robertson shot it, and did a really great job. You know, asking the Rush guys questions, and really, you know, did some fly on the wall stuff of Rush in the studio. But those guys are so funny. We were able to make a really funny, very short documentary about them in the studio, and that just came out too.
So Chuck, when are we going to see some of your work actually in a pinball game itself?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but the start.
I do not.
The push start video on all the games is ours.
Oh.
And we also we have things that creep in here and there. The Avengers Stern logo, the Marvel Stern logo. Edita put that together.
Oh wow! Neat. Cool.
Neat.
So, some things here and there.
I used that logo 70 times. That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to see more. I'd like to shoot more and have it in there. Although it is kind of weird seeing, you know, your work on multiple pinball screens at once.
I think it's awesome. That'd be a lot of fun. So.
That's awesome. So, yeah.
All right.
I love it. Well, now everyone, you have met the person and the team most visual that are behind these epic videos that we wait for and crave for every quarter. We're just waiting for the next video, Chuck. Show us what's next. Show us how beautiful the next game is. You know. So thank you so much for joining us and talking to us about that process.
I'm gonna bring back my bad joke that it's not just a little bit visual; it's the most visual. So
it's.
We were cut off at that when I made the joke.
So you know, it was an acronym.
Oh really? What does MOST stand for?
So it was originally an acronym for Masters of Space and Time.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's so cool.
And so there's a whole story behind that too.
Well,
can we get that story?
We might go back that way. Yeah. So so you know, Edita and I, we do a lot of like hiking, stuff like that, traveling. And I always seem to know where we're at. Like I know our direction. And then, you know, she started to joke that, you know, I know where we're at, but I never seem to know like what time it is. I'm like always asking her what time it is. And so like when she was saying this, she's like, I was like, wow, this is like, there's something to this. It's like we're the masters of space and time. And I was like, that's like a great video, like idea, because time
and
so much. And things, you know, So yeah, so it started as an acronym, and the idea was that it was, it needed to be something else. It couldn't just be most. Although I think we are getting back to the idea that it's just going to be most. But it was like most creative. That sounds weird, most, it can't be most anything because it's going to be like a tough sell.
It could be most anything.
Thought,
why not? It could be most anything.
Yeah, everything.
Most anything.
Yeah, love it.
So most pinball on Instagram, and most visual is the company, and sooner or later it's probably going to be just more most. Like nice.
Most. I love it. Your new logo is so cool. It's just that I see that like slapped on the wall in every big city in the world.
I'm gonna give you 100 of them to slap on the wall, every big city in the world.
I got you.
She does travel a lot.
That's so great. I want a most hat with that.
Okay, you got it.
Too.
I want one too. New one.
Chuck, thank you very much for being with us. A round of applause from our group.
Yay!
So great hanging out with you, and great work. And what's up in a couple weeks, Moto? What are we gonna do in 2 weeks?
So in a couple weeks, I think we're gonna break down the Twippy's video production process. With This Week in Pinball, I'm gonna try to get Jeff on here with us, and we talk all about how we did this award show, 2 years, all virtual and very visual, and how we're bringing it back to doing a live event, and the kind of creative and technical processes of that project. So that'll be a fun little exploration. Yeah.
I'm not a part of the Twippy, so I'm excited to learn about it. Amoto edits all that, so I want to know how she pulls it off.
The live show will be much better. There'll be less editing, in theory.
The magic of streaming stuff. It's all part of filmmaking. Well, again, Chuck, thank you very much for hanging out with us. I think we should wrap it, and I want to say goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone. And for those on Twitch, stick around. We're going to go raid Arcade Dungeon, who's working on a Sorcerer pinball machine. Ooh, so exciting. And then everyone else, I'll see you Thursday at 3 o'clock Eastern for PinTech Live.
And I'll see you in 2 weeks. So,
goodbye. Bye. Goodbye, Chuck. Goodbye, James.
I'll see you around.
See you all. See you. Goodbye.